'Twas a bright and sunny day in the land of Pongoville, and all the Pongos did what they will. They were shopping and playing and singing la-dee-dee-dee, which takes us to a picnic set for three. Three little Pongos were sitting around on a checkered cloth placed neatly on the ground. There is Micci and Kiwi, they're the best of friends, and not to mention Tiwi, their fun never ends. They were sitting there on the ground, talking and laughing and passing around cookies and cakes and pickles galore. May I have some more? All through this meal there were jokes being told about nostrils and kneecaps and yucky green mold.
Well,
said Kiwi to her brother and friend,
there are countless Pongos, there is no end. And since there are so many Pongos around, everyone has a twin to be found.
Well, so,
thought Micci.
Is that how it is? I will start looking right after I drink this yummy frizz.
Eureka! I know who will know. Up on the crag. To the elders we'll go.
The elders?
Thought Micci.
I'm not too sure. They're big and scary and covered in fur.
Then Kiwi told Micci what she thought in her mind. Kiwi said,
It's this help or no other kind.
So Micci looked at Tiwi, and they all agreed that they would do all they could indeed. So over they went to the Rocky Crag and looked for the elders, which was quite a drag.
Where can they be? Where are they at? Wait, I can see a hat.
And up from the rocks with a flip and some flaps came the two elders, some very interesting looking chaps. They both looked the same, and it was very unclear whether they even owned a mirror. Their ties were up crooked, their hair was a mess. It looked like they slept in the clothes which they were dressed. Micci jumped back, shocked in fear. She had heard of the elders, but she had never been so near. Kiwi and Tiwi were frightened as well, so much so that they almost fell. And then what happened next surprised the three to no end.
I'm Flim, and this is Flam. We're the best of friends.
It might look to you that we are twins from being born.
But friends are like twins when they're never torn.
So that's how we are. That's how we'll stay.
We'll look the same forever, plus one day. So,
said the elders, who looked quite confused.
How can we help you? What did you lose?
Well, it's not so much something that needs to be found. It's something that I've never really had around.
How can you find something you've never had?
Wouldn't the searching make you mad?
She's looking for her twin, you know. We need your help. Can you go?
We'd love to go, but just one little thing.
We are very clever detectives. Day in, day out. Anything you need, just shout.
Hey, that's super. Hey, that's great. You guys are bound to find Mickey's twin mate.
Over they went to Mickey's house, and they tiptoed in as quiet as a mouse. Up the stairs and around the plant, as the elders walked, they started to pant. Up they went to Mickey's room to snoop. All of them huddled in a little group. They walked into the room and stopped at the door, just so they could check under the carpeted floor. And then they jumped to the job at hand, finding the twin that Micci never had. They searched the room from ceiling to floor. They even overturned Mickey's sock drawer. And what did they find? What did they see? An old shoelace and some pennies, only 3. So Kiwi looked at Mickey and Mickey at Tiwi. And Flim and Flam yelled,
Come on, you 3!
Through the door they ran and into the sun. When Mickey thought of her untidy room, she decided that she wasn't really having much fun.
Come on! We know what's cool! We think you're twins into school!
Where are we going and what will we do?
I'm not sure, but I think it's the right thing too.
So over they went down the long, windy road, past the post box with the painted green toad. The classroom is a room that needs to be checked, and so they entered a room with many a desk. Through the air rang a large, crisp bell. Flim was so startled, he almost fell.
What was that?
He questioned with his hands on his head, and then his eyes fell upon an apple of red. And off they all went, forgetting about the twin of Mickey and her face with a pout. They doodled on the board with chalk of many color, but they quickly decided there wasn't anything duller. And then they all spotted a box made of wood. They decided to open it and see what they could. Inside the box, what a sight to see! Jackets and pants and hats of tweed, the glitter, the sequins, the feathers of blue. Flim, Flam, Kiwi, and Tiwi, they knew what to do. On the clothes went as quick as a blink. 2 cowboys, the bee, and a lady in pink, all dressed up with nowhere to go. But then Mickey's sadness was beginning to show.
Hey, you guys, we've wasted all day by running around and dressing up to play. I need my twin, my mate. Now it's very, very late. I'm going home and I'm going to bed. I think you should stay and tidy up instead.
So they put away the clothes and they cleaned off Flim's nose. They picked up the toys and made an awful lot of noise. After the long day, Mickey walked home. All by herself, all alone. She got into bed and looked out the window. She wanted to sleep, but wanted to make a wish though. She made a wish on a star that floated above. She wished that she could find a twin to love. Mickey wondered whether her twin was even in her town, and that thought quickly brought on a frown. But she had no proof, she had no clue. All that she had were friends who came in sets of 2. Mickey decided that this was not positive. This was not the proper way to live. So she put on a smile and put the bad thoughts behind her for a while. Mickey hopped into bed, and under the sheets, she closed her eyes and nodded off to sleep. Up in the morning, it's a brand new day for looking and thinking and trying a new way. Mickey decided she'll go out and look for her twin, wondering whether it's a her or a him.
Where would I go if I was looking for me? If the twin were me, where would I be?
She decided to walk, and it became clearer that the person she is looking for was the one in the mirror. Micci decided to go to her favorite place, the toy store, and off she went at a speedy pace. A girl was standing all by herself, flipping a coin and looking up at a shelf filled with toys and puzzles and a book. Nicky was simply taking a look. When she thought that she could use some fun, she pulled from the shelf a mun. Then she thought to herself, what a blast! And she began to pull things down really fast. Down the toys toppled all with a thud. The shopkeeper yelled,
"Your name is Mud."
From the desk walked the shopkeeper, who was trying hard to keep his temper, and to the mess he stormed, and looked at the piles that had formed. He looked at Nicky and pointed at the door. He said,
"You'll not come in here anymore."
So out Nicky started, looking quite upset.
I'll have nothing to do anymore, I bet.
So Nicky went through the door with a whistle and a whirl. And then she ran into some other girl.
Oh, I'm so sorry!
They said at the same time as Nicky picked up her dime. And then she looked up, and to her shock, there stood a familiar girl in a pretty pink frock. Mickey looked at her, and to her surprise, she was looking into a pair of her own eyes.
My twin, I knew you'd be found. All I had to do was look around.
I never knew I had a twin. This is great because we both win.
I have an idea. Now that you've met me, let's go back to my house and have some cookies and tea.
Nicky, feeling quite hungry, said,
Sure. We'll go to your house, eat some food, and play some Ner.
So home the two went as happy as can be, skipping and jumping and singing la-dee-dee-dee. They went into Mickey's house and sat at the table to have tea and Ner and cookies of maple.
You don't know how long I looked for you, and now I'm so happy to be too.
I'm happy to find you as well, I say. But I was wondering if maybe we can go play?
So up they went to the top of the house, running up the stairs as quick as a mouse, up to the room that's full of toys, mostly for girls, but enough for boys. So down they sit to frolic and play, with plans to stay there for the rest of the day. Puzzles and dolls and lots more, soldiers and trucks all on the floor. And on the dresser, Nicky saw the best toy of all. Next to the picture was a large rubber ball. The ball was red, and did it ever shine? Nicky said to herself,
That toy sure is fine.
So she jumped up and grabbed it and tossed it around, and then she played with it on the ground. Mickey looked up from playing with her toy, and she remembered her previous joy. Knowing that her twin was finally here with her, she knew her life would never be better. And so there sat Mickey looking at her twin, knowing that her face was covered with a grin.